Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
You're pretty good.
Yeah, we vibed to Taylor Swift in the car.
Yeah,
on
the
the
morale
way.
is pretty high after the Taylor Swift screaming session, so that's...
It was pretty low before that. Actually, no. To be fair, we had the most eventful breakfast I've ever had in my life today.
It was different.
I think it might have been the single greatest breakfast event of my life.
I definitely enjoyed it more than any of our other breakfasts we've ever had together. Jack's...
Sorry, real quick. I'm Jack. This is CP, and welcome to our kettle of fish.
Just skip the intro. We assumed you knew by now. So Jack, my co-host, just power moving him back after he power moved me last week, has been trying to get me to go to this breakfast place for quite a while now.
Every time we've been, the car park has just been full, and we'll be like, well, I guess we'll look somewhere else.
We try to go for breakfast before the podcast. We feel it boosts morale, and then we scream along to Taylor Swift. Anyway, we finally get to the place that Jack wanted to go to for breakfast, which was a nice little cafe. It had a plant nursery near it. The vibes were really good. It wasn't too busy as well. We got a nice spot sort of outside. And then a meeting starts taking place next to our table.
They were road surveyors, and I think they were just discussing with the cafe owner, about the road being closed and the limited entry into the cafe. Good thing for a council to do to a small business. But this lady was the most charismatic and loud person I'd ever heard in my life.
Normally, this is the sort of conversation where I would say socially, the road surveying people would have the upper hand. But I've never seen someone be shut down so quickly. Not in a bad way. The cafe owner just had so much energy and was essentially yelling at the road surveillance people the whole time that they barely got a word in, and she dictated most of the conversation despite not knowing what they were going to talk to her about.
I think she did a pretty strong power move. She's walks over, introduces herself, and is about to sit down, and then turns to them and goes, I'm gonna go get a glass of water, and then just leaves.
Which is normally what you would do. Perhaps the road surveillance people that are about to deliver some bad news, they'd hang on to it for a bit longer. This lady said, no, I've got the upper hand here.
Anyway, really not important. It was just a good breakfast and our morale is high. We did not talk the entire breakfast.
We sat in silence and eavesdropped on these people's conversation the whole time. I now know the current 12-month projection for the roadworks on that road, how many employees there are going to be there, and the percentage discount that the employees are going to get at this local cafe.
She was also very excited to find out that they called their break at 10:30 smoko. Unclear on why she was so excited about that, but
Also,
she was thrilled.
The first time in a professional sit-down cafe meeting I've heard a lunch break be referred to as smoko. Anyway.
So I've just got a bit of admin to get through today before we really get into the swing of the episode.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah. Connie, if you could just drag the audio slider up a little, just so that we've it's probably a little bit quiet for the listeners.
Which one am I doing? This one?
Yeah. Just drag that up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
That's probably good. All right. So the one under the white button, if you could press that for me.
The blue one?
Yeah. Wait. Just to confirm, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to confirm that I have cut this directly from the previous episode. Courtney, please press the button.
Here the whole time with my brand new glasses on, which are upped in prescription, so now I can see, because I can quite clearly now see that says back. My
Courtney,
microphone this week does not say back.
was that your voice last week?
It was my voice last week.
You can confirm that you did in fact say that sentence.
Yeah, I said that.
And so middle of the episode, you got up and did something. Do you remember what you got up and did?
In the episode of which I'm referring to in that blue button, or in last week's episode?
In last week's episode.
No, I cannot.
You got up and checked the camera just to make sure it was still recording. You also set up the camera last week and pressed record. Is that true?
With or without my glasses on?
With your glasses on.
Yeah, right.
And,
Yep.
and we've agreed that you now have perfect vision with those glasses.
I would strongly disagree.
Well, we've agreed that they're up to prescription, and as you said in the audio, you can see perfectly now.
I can see very well.
Yes. Connie, the framing in last week's episode.
I would like to interject here because I already know which direction this is going in. I don't know what I did wrong, but I probably did something wrong. Do you or do you not have a bachelor's degree in filmmaking? And should this or should this not be your responsibility?
Connie, I can't do everything. I was setting up the fucking podcasting deck and all the table and everything. What was covering your face for the majority of last episode?
Perhaps the microphone?
I think it's fair to say that you need to take a punishment out of the jar.
I don't agree.
This is not a conversation.
I just don't agree. Can I choose to reject?
No. Let me hold the jar for it.
I can hold my own jar, don't worry about it. I looked at it, so I'll unlook.
All right, would you mind
I
reading?
don't want you to see it before I get to read it.
Is it one of mine or one of yours?
It's one of mine, I think. I actually don't know because the handwriting. I thought it was mine, but then the handwriting's really bad. A story posted on Insta by the other person.
That was not me. So,
That was me.
your punishments are not nearly as cruel as mine.
I'll cut you a deal. I don't post on my Instagram very often because my Instagram's a private shutdown account that I hardly use except to send memes to you. Perhaps, and this is perhaps, I'm not agreeing to it, I will post about our show on my own personal Instagram.
Why have you not done that yet? It's fucking episode 3, bro.
Because I'm posting on the account's Instagram.
How are we supposed to get followers to come over?
I was relying solely on your following, to be honest. My following is a few people from high school that probably don't like me very much, and my sisters.
Your follower interaction is significantly higher than mine. Like, I have 800 followers.
I'll post the show. Phone's on silent, please. Or I'll take it till the end of the class. Considering you've done your admin, Jack, I think I'll do a little bit of my admin. There's one of two things. One, you've already seen this, but this is just Haley's token of promise that she is going to take you to get your ear pierced to wear a tiny mushroom earring. I've already explained to you that she wouldn't give us one of the real earrings because she didn't trust us with her stock, but this is one that she stuffed up and kind of looks a little bit like a nipple. But this is...
I don't know what kind of nipples you're looking at, bro.
I'll just put this over here somewhere. Tiny mushroom earring.
Great. I was really expecting a stud, not like a dangling
Yeah,
earring.
I did see the surprise in your eyes. I don't know how you thought a tiny mushroom earring was going to fit on a stud, whether it was just a flatbed
I thought
tiny
it was like
mushroom.
a 2D mushroom.
Well, no, it's a 3D mushroom, and normally they have like little
How is
painted
she
dots
making
on
those?
them. I don't know. She sits in her bedroom for hours and just crafts away, and I just leave her alone. The other thing, Jack, you pulled a punishment from the jar last week. Can you remember what that was?
Yeah, I had to buy you Lego.
Well, I have picked one that I think goes for the set because I don't need Lego in my house. That's just not something that appeals to me. But this Lego did appeal to me, Jack, and I have got I found this, and I will send you a direct link to it. It is a big glass of Lego.
Is that even real Lego?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It could be knockoff Lego, but I think it would go perfectly on the set. Just here. That's all the admin I have to follow up.
Okay, great. Well, as some of you may remember in the first episode, which came out on Sunday for us, so it's only been out for like 2 days for us. As some of you may remember, we announced that we were hiring an intern. And
announced is a funny way to put it. Hiring is a funny way to put it. We threw our friend under the bus.
Courtney, if you could press the orange button. This is just a quick refresher. If you could press the orange button.
This is how he's finding out. Regan, when you listen to this episode, please give us a call and use code FISH.
We have plenty of business opportunities we'd love to
It's just a
discuss
flashback
with
from
you.
last episode.
Mostly you being our cameraman and not getting paid for your time.
And also sponsoring our episodes.
Thank you, Regan.
Thanks, Regan. Is this where Regan pops out?
That was a voicemail he left me at 6 o'clock this morning. I think he's interested, guys.
See, this is funny because this segment was going to go one of two ways. We both had Regan as a note for a segment we wanted to bring up today, and we don't really discuss our segments much before we discuss them. Mine was going to be that I was going to call out Regan for liking and interacting with our podcast but not listening to it. After that, Jack, I think it's become very apparent that Regan has listened to our podcast. So thank you, Regan.
I think we should just give him a call. He's at work, so he might not answer, but then again, he's a derelict, so he probably will answer.
What are you on? Nice podcast, mate.
You're on the air, Regan.
I'm on the air,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, Courtney's here as well.
Oh,
How you doing, Regan?
oh God. I really hope I'm not actually, but anyway.
Oh no, this is being recorded.
Hello.
Be
Oh, okay,
interesting,
Okay.
or you're fired.
Oh, okay.
So you left us an interesting voicemail at a disturbing hour of the morning this morning, Regan.
Yeah, no, I did. Can you play it? Like, do
We-
you have it?
We've already
we've
played it. Yeah.
Oh, you have played it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Look, that is just in response to your first episode, where you told me to say that, so I said it.
Great.
So, you know, you ask and you shall receive.
So does that mean you're agreeing to be our intern and possibly be involved a little bit more in the podcast, Regan?
Absolutely, but look, I'm not going to go unpaid. It's going to be at least $13 an hour. That's just my rate, okay?
We'll give you 5.
You're going to take it or leave it?
We'll give you 5.
We'll negotiate 5.
5? Okay, but only if it comes out of Jack's payslip.
Absolutely. That can 100% be arranged.
By the way, Jack, can you please explain to everyone what you did to my car after Empire?
So, Regan commented this on the Instagram page. So,
It was also the only comment we got on our Instagram page, so thank you so much for the interaction, Regan.
No worries. No worries. Engagement.
So as we discussed in the first episode, I have a drinking habit that is not always great. Regan decided to take me out drinking one night. He drove. At this point, Regan was living like 45-minute drive away from the club that we went to.
Just a disclaimer, I wasn't drinking. I was sober. Continue, Jack.
Yeah. And so Regan decided to be Dezo. And we knew we weren't going to be there long. It was probably... How long were we there for, Regan? 2 hours?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah. So I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to smash as many bevies as I can in 2 hours.
Doesn't sound at all like you.
No. And vodka obviously is my choice to drink. So the double black started. I made it through 11 double blacks in 2 hours. Regan drove me home and I was just like fucking gone. We decided to go through the Macca's drive-thru and pick up some hotcakes because I really wanted hotcakes. And also a chicken and cheese. Unclear on why, because I'd never ate the chicken and cheese.
Interesting combination.
I left it on the bench when I got home, and the chicken and cheese sat there.
It's the experience.
But when I was eating the hotcakes, I decided to get the syrup out and pour it on my pancakes. And Regan's car, which is still the same car about 3 years later, now has hotcake syrup in the seatbelt plug.
And for about a year and a half, you could not get the seatbelt.
I was going to say that's interesting because I remember getting into Regan's car one time when we were going somewhere else completely unrelated, and Regan said, "Mind the seatbelt clip."
Yeah.
And I don't think you ever gave me context as to why, so that's sort of falling into place for me there.
No, it was just accepted at that point, honestly. And I do recall, and by the way, last episode, Jack said that he was offering you money in case he threw up. Well, he offered me a detailed clean of my car.
You never sent me a bill, Regan.
Hey, because
No,
I
I
haven't
think-
gone yet,
I
but
think
I intend on claiming.
I think Jack should have to do the detailed clean of your car, Regan. What do you think about that?
That is a good point. No, I wouldn't trust him, honestly. I wouldn't trust him. I reckon one day we go to Fountain Gate, we go for a little bit of shopping, and Jack, you'll pay for my detail.
Regan.
Must be nice to be able to go to Fountain Gate.
What's wrong with Fountain Gate?
You know what's funny is the other day, I think it was you
Just
and
come
I,
out,
Jack.
just bleep it out. It's fine.
It's fine. I think we were talking about how people at shopping centres that park in the in the car cleaning sections must be nice to be able to afford to get your car cleaned whilst you go for a shop.
Regan,
All right, Courtney. Says you.
look,
How
to be
rich are
honest,
you, mate?
you're really not being interesting enough for the show. So
No, I'm being very interesting. Hey, you know what's funny? Haley was also eating when you called her, and I'm eating my lunch too. So that's funny, isn't it?
What's for lunch today, Regan? Who hung up on us?
he hang up on me. All right, well, that's a that was Regan. He'll be here for like $3 an hour. He wasn't interesting.
I think
enough
we
for
can
$5.
I think we can renegotiate his
Yeah.
salary a little bit more. He seemed a bit flexible.
Yeah. I think you've got something to bring up.
You could argue that I'm a little bit unreliable, Jack.
Dude, that's the thing. You said the thing.
I said the thing.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm a little bit unreliable. Last week we discussed it a little bit, and we discussed how, I say last week, last episode, so 2 episodes ago, we discussed,
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten what happened last week's episode. I don't know what happened in episode 2. I couldn't tell you.
yeah, because we've been working on episode 1 so much. We discussed a little bit in episode 1 how I was unreliable and didn't answer any of your text messages.
Yep.
I feel the need, and this is really going to shoot down my pride quite a lot, to apologise for how unreliable I have been in this project.
I now have the power in this relationship.
You absolutely do not. I
am the alpha male.
That is just not true. The tasks that you are in charge of in the podcast involve most of them. All I have to do is turn up, of which most of the time I don't turn up on time, and manage the social media accounts. Would you agree that
No, Regan, we're not telling him about the locker incident.
we're absolutely going to tell them about the locker incident, but after... Would you agree they're my only 2 responsibilities?
What the fuck does he...
Would you agree that turning up and... you've made me lose my train of thought because
Turning up and editing the TikTok?
Turning up and editing the TikToks are my only 2 responsibilities on this channel. Would you or would you not agree?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely. The other day, we launched our first episode of the podcast. Very exciting.
Thrilling.
Absolutely exhilarating. We planned to launch at 7 o'clock or 7:30, was it?
I think originally it was going to be 5, and then we were both busy as fuck. Well, you
So
were working.
7 o'clock. At 7:30, I was to post on the Instagram announcing that our channel had launched. 7:30, simple task, get home, 7:30 post. At 7:28, you would have received a notification, Jack. What did the notification say?
I'm just editing the caption, I believe, was what it said.
And then you would have received an email saying a new Instagram account has been created. At 7:28, I was in the gym. I hadn't even made it home yet. And I was creating our Instagram account on the spot, writing the title, incorrectly writing out our tagline on the bio.
I had to change the profile picture because she just didn't put a profile picture up.
I also made a spelling error in the bio of the account. And on our initial post, I posted a previous rendition of our logo.
Look, I was going to bring it up, but I figured you'd already drawn from the punishment jar today, and I didn't really think that you needed to draw twice. But I mean, if you're going to bring it up, the fact that you posted the wrong logo, you know what? I'm going to leave it to vaguely interacting audience to decide whether Courtney gets a punishment in like 4 weeks' time for posting the wrong
Regan.
logo. Regan and Haley, it's up to you.
And Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. Glad you like the $4.99 jar. Finally, $4.99 jar.
So that's my apology. I refuse to draw another punishment out of the jar. I don't think I'll get any more reliable, but I feel like accepting is the first step to however the rest of that saying goes.
I actually don't know, so I'm glad that you've fucked it up because I wouldn't have been able to finish it. You know what? I'm gonna call it. We're cutting this segment.
We're cutting this segment. There's one every week. We're cutting this segment this week.
Courtney did not prepare enough content.
I did not prepare enough content.
Let me go.
My chair is mounted on the back of the...
I'm nervous because you have just entered the room holding a served card. And that scares me.
It shouldn't scare you that much because I've got some that are tucked away for a much better occasion.
Me too.
This one I feel like I use on you every single day, and I've actually already used it on you once today, but I just didn't bring the card and you can apply it anyway. The Can I Borrow card.
What did
Look.
you borrow?
Yes, technically, I should have brought my own, but I didn't, and now I need to borrow yours. Take it as a compliment, idea.
What the fuck did you borrow from me today?
I'm not wearing them right now.
Ah. Yeah, okay.
Out of context, that sounds very strange. It's this headset. I've lost my own.
I'm just a very hospitable guy.
So how about you tell me about, well, the Can I Borrow card I was going to say, content ideas, because I ran out of them, Jack. And yes, technically, I should have brought my own. But how about you tell me about the locker story?
Does that count as borrowing a content idea?
Perhaps I'll just tuck this away and use it later.
When I was in high school,
Not a great time for either of us, can I just add?
year 10 to be precise,
Very much, again, not a great time for either of us.
I don't even think we were speaking at this point.
We did have a very big argument in year 10, which ultimately ended in you telling me to take a dose of shut the fuck up.
In front of our English teacher, who just kind of stopped and didn't know what to say and said, okay, and then left.
No one knew whether or not we were serious. We hated each other in year 10, for a portion of year 10 anyway, but I digress. The locker story.
We did not bond until year 11 when we hated someone else so much that it brought us back together.
Hate ultimately brought us apart and then brought us back together.
Just like hate of doing this podcast has brought us together. Anyway, so one day, big muscly guy that we went to school with was walking down the hallway with a soccer ball and just kicking it. And I thought, oh, it'll be funny if I kick that soccer ball away. It was not funny.
It was not funny. It was a bad idea. But it wasn't just an idea. You acted on it.
So I did it. I kicked the ball, like, just playing around. I used to play soccer in primary school, so I had a little bit of coordination, and I kicked the ball between his legs and then fucking slid away. And instead of acting like a rational person and be like, what the fuck, dude? This guy grabbed me by the shirt. Like, we're wearing button-ups, so it's very easy to grab someone by a shirt.
Absolutely.
Grabs me... trying my hardest not to mention any names here, grabs me by the shirt and like tosses me. And because he's very strong and muscly and I am very skinny, I was like even skinnier than I am. I was like 6 or 7 kilos lighter than I am now in year 10. He just whoop, and I just go woo. And at the exact moment that I am flying across a locker bay, this is like actually like 2 to 3 meters that I've.
It was a good toss. It was a good toss.
I don't know what it looked like from anyone else's perspective, but I'm pretty sure I didn't touch the ground for that entire 3 meters.
It's pretty safe to say that. I did see it from an outsider's perspective, as the entire cohort did, and I think it's pretty safe to say you did fly about 3 meters through the air.
A girl opened her locker door at the exact moment, and she like, you know, when you're in high school, you just unlock the lock and just swing the door open. The door swings, and at the exact moment I am like flying through the air, the door swings and hits me in the head and concusses me. I had a bruise like this large on the size of
Side of your head.
Yeah, on like just next to my temple. Like I don't know how I didn't die because.
It was a good whack. And for anyone that thinks this is really sadistic to laugh at, it was serious at the time, but in hindsight, it was very funny how far he got thrown.
Great. I'll take that card.
It's stuck. I'll have to hang on to it for a little bit longer.
Okay, I do have one last little bit of content that I thought I'd mention because I think we're going to start it very, very soon. It's about to start getting nice and hot outside and sunny, and it'll like actually be nice to go outside.
Different from the start of our summer, or our spring rather, here in Melbourne, that has been 12 degrees most days, raining with torrential storms.
I've seen the sun like twice in the last month.
Our vitamin D levels have just dropped so significantly.
Courtney, you and I are easily
Entertained.
my most competitive relationship that I have.
I am a very competitive person.
Yeah, I'm not a competitive person, except for when I'm around you.
Mm-hmm.
I
bring out the worst in people.
Yeah, I think you could argue that. So, I propose that we start an ongoing series called CP vs. Jack.
This is a very good idea. One that we've discussed for a while, and I'm glad that we're finally bringing this one out.
Courtney is significantly more athletic than me. As you would have seen in the first episode, her bicep is the size of my forearm.
Yep.
So it won't be entirely physical events.
I think it can be mostly physical events.
I think there should be a furniture building contest.
I agree.
Lego building contest.
We do need some new chairs for the studio, and we are getting a beer mug made of Lego.
We even have a chessboard behind us. So, you know, I feel like there's a lot of potential for me not to completely lose CP versus Jack.
I don't think there's any potential for you at all, but I really, really admire your confidence.
So, what I'm going to suggest is, we spoke about it off air, we're going to play Served until February.
Okay.
The end of February. I suggest that we wrap up Served and CP vs. Jack version 1 at the same time.
So like an ongoing series where we'll start the board again and again.
Yeah, sure.
Are we still bringing in the board?
Well, I've thought about it a lot. And I think that if you pay for the board, we'll bring the board in.
What if I make the board?
You know what? I like it even more.
I like it because I'm probably not going to do it. Just like I was supposed to make the intro song, like I was supposed to make an intermission song, like I was supposed to bring a news audio as well. I promise to be more reliable, and I promise to bring a board, and if I don't, I promise to draw another punishment from the punishment jar.
All right. So, we've both got a couple busy weeks coming up. So, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to squeeze in some time to start this. I propose we look at mid-December to start.
I'm okay with that. What do we win? Is there an ongoing scoreboard that goes throughout the first series?
I think we should make a trophy. And
I agree.
The winner of the first series wins the trophy.
Are you responsible for the trophy?
I hate committing to things because I know that I won't go through with it. But
That's called commitment issues.
yeah, you know what? Yeah. I'll commit to making a trophy if you commit to making a series board.
I commit to making a series board.
Okay. Just spitballing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be cool if we could have like as our series board, maybe like a side that says Courtney, a side that says Jack, and we get an Instax, like, you know, one of those instant print pictures.
I love that idea. And print out, and whoever gets the print out,
Yeah,
it
we
goes
take
on
a
their
picture.
side.
We take a picture while we're doing the challenge, and whoever wins, it goes on their side.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I think if we ever need a referee, it should be Regan's responsibility.
Well, Regan's going to be filming the challenges.
Thanks, Regan.
You'll get your $2.50 at the end of the day.
$1 for the entire day, and that's my final negotiation for your salary.
If you do enjoy Regan, please send him some hate on Instagram. And we may continue to bring him back.
Absolutely. I feel like he's a very non-valuable asset to our team.
Can I just say, before we outro, we've lost the flow of the show a little bit. But Regan, I'm removing you from my favorites in my contacts because you can't be trusted not to text me during
That's
the recording of the
rough.
show.
That is rough.
So now my do not disturb will include you. Thanks, Regan. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Kettle of Fish. You can find us at CP and Jack on Instagram and pretty much everywhere else, including TikTok. You can also send us an email if you'd like to correspond. kettleoffishpod@gmail.com.
If anyone would like to be my personal assistant and help me get my act together and be more reliable, that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, bye. That outro was
Awful.
yeah.